Episode 157, the year 2023 recap with Heather Rackham.
Welcome to Latter-day Life Coaches, the podcast where each episode is a conversation between me, Heather Rackham, and one of my amazing coach colleagues. Each coach here is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and a highly trained, experienced life coach making a great impact in the lives of their clients. And together, we have one main goal, helping you live your best life no matter what. You ready for this conversation with a coach? Here we go.
We are told many times that if we read our scriptures, say our prayers, go to the temple, and magnify our callings, we will always be led and directed by our heavenly parents. But what if we are doing that and the heavens seem silent? In this year's final episode of 2023, Heather is reflecting back on her year and how it was a year that the heavens seemed very quiet. Instead of thinking something had gone terribly wrong, Heather shares the important lessons and purpose she has found in the quiet. If you have had times in your life where you have felt like the heavens were quiet, then make sure you listen to this episode and reflect yourself on the reasons perhaps why that happened and what your heavenly parents were trying to teach you. As we close out 2023, we here at Latter-day Life Coaches wish you a very Merry Christmas and look forward to bringing you more amazing coach interviews in 2024. Please enjoy this recap of 2023 with Heather.
Happy day after Christmas. If you are listening to this the day this podcast drops, most likely you're not. I'm assuming you're with family and friends, but if you are, I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday. And whenever you are listening to this, just know that we are wishing you a wonderful new year and an amazing 2024. As I move forward into 2024, and as us coaches here on the directory move into 2024, I wanted to just share with you some reflection on 2023. As we know, reflection is a very powerful way for us to progress in the way we want to progress, but only if it's done through love and curiosity, not with, oh, I should have done that better, I did that wrong. That won't be helpful for us, but just reflecting and being curious on, oh yeah, how did that go? Oh, how might I do that differently? Was this helpful? Was this not helpful? Anyway, so I wanted to offer to you some of my reflection today as we look to an amazing new year ahead of us. I am flying solo today. Always I am with another coach. I am by myself today. So you just get me and my thoughts, and here we go. So as I reflected on 2023, one of the things that comes to my mind, a word that would come to my mind, is quiet. Quiet because I feel like there's been a little bit of quietness in my life from the divine, from our Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Mother. What I mean is I've come to learn that through this year of quiet, that I don't think we are always meant to be given this blaring sign of go this direction. This is the quote unquote right way for you to go. I love those moments, right? You love those moments. We love when we just have that feeling of intense excitement and enthusiasm and just know that this is the right thing for us to do. And I definitely have felt that many, many times in my past. And this year has been a year where I feel like I haven't felt that so much. At first, it was a little bit confusing. I found myself falling into believing some of the things that we can kind of perpetuate in our religion, which is, well, if I would just read my scriptures more, if I would pray more, maybe I would hear them better. And while I do think, and I do know that there is value in reading and studying and doing things that help me to connect to my heavenly parents, I do not necessarily believe that they are withholding from me and in times like that. And so I could just do it. If I would just do it more, then I would get more answers from them. I'm babbling around there, but that's just, anyway, I've just come to see this year that they're always there, but sometimes they are a little quiet because it's our turn. It's like they're saying, Tag, you're it. It's your turn to kind of go and run and work on this. And I'm here. I'm going to be here. But it's time for you to dig a little bit deeper and be more introspective and to move forward. So that has been my year, and it's been a little uncomfortable, but one that has been helpful. So I just share this with you because hopefully if you have found yourself in those moments where it seems a little bit quiet, that you recognize that that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing anything wrong. Yeah, you might ask, okay, is there other things that I can improve on? Is there something I can do? But it's not helpful to just keep spinning our wheels there. In this time of quietness, there are a couple of words that stand out to me that I have come to know and understand better. And the first one is humility, and the second one is hope. So I know for me, I'm always looking for the right thing to believe in. Okay. Like if I just could find the right way to think about religion, if I could find the right beliefs about spirituality, if I could find the right things about business. I've spent time reading so many books this year, trying to find just the information that I want, right? And spent so much time looking for the right things to believe in. And there's value in that, don't get me wrong. But what I've come to know is that rather than spending so much time thinking that there's a right way to believe and spinning our wheels trying to find the right things to believe in, we can actually look to the right being, meaning individual. I will call that my Heavenly Father, my Heavenly Mother. I can look to the right beings to trust. So rather than looking for the proper and right beliefs, I'm looking to them and I'm trusting them. And for me, I think that is humility. As I read Brene Brown's definition of humility in her book, Atlas of the Heart, her definition goes something like this. Humility is not looking to be right, but to get it right. And so in my words, I would put it as humility is wanting to get life right. I don't need to be right. I'm not looking to be right, because when we want to be right, we just kind of dig in and we don't want to be wrong. But if we want to get it right, we want to get life right, we're willing to see the areas where we're maybe are wrong and maybe we could have a different perspective on. And I love that definition. So for me, as I've had kind of a quiet year, understanding that I look to a source. I look to the source, the divine source. I look to my Heavenly Father, my Heavenly Mother. And I know that their example is how I will get it right, how I will get this life right. So humility is there. So I think part of that humility, that trust, is self-trust, and I'll call it also divine trust. We want certainty. We want to know that this is exactly how things are, right? Like it's kind of that right and wrong, like this is right, this is wrong. That's the certainty that we want. But when we are being humble, we aren't necessarily looking for that certainty. We're just looking to get things right. We're looking to be the human being that feels good, to be the human being that is ultimately acting in a way and thinking and feeling in a way that feels peaceful. That to me is self-certainty. That to me is divine certainty. And then I will say that this then is hope. So that second word, I said humility and hope. Hope is the willingness to move forward without resolution or closure. So we have all this desire to have the right beliefs. We don't always know the truth, what the right thing is to believe in. We don't always know that. But in continuing to move forward and trusting in the divine, we are having hope. So Alma 37:11, which is one of my favorite scriptures. I have it like stuck on a sticky note on my mirror this year, says, "These mysteries are not yet fully made known unto me. Therefore, I shall forbear." That is like the ultimate definition of hope for me. if I look at hope as being the willingness to move forward without resolution or closure. I don't always know. But I move forward in hope. And I just take that next step out into the world, and it feels dark. It feels a little bit scary in the world, but then I look inward introspectively to see what feels good. And I trust me and I trust God to help me step out into the world and to move forward, knowing that I don't know the answers to all things, but I do know what feels good inside of me. I do and can recognize peace, and it is peace that we can use as our guide as we move forward. So some of the ways that I have learned to look inward and upward as I learn to trust myself and my heavenly parents as I step forward in hope. All right, so I just got done telling you that I've read so much, always looking and trying to find the right thing to believe. But I do want to share a couple of resources with you that I have found helpful for me as I have been learning to be introspective during this time of quiet, as I have been learning to be comfortable with uncertainty and to learn to trust myself and to trust our heavenly parents. So there's 3 books I want to share with you. One is At One Minute by Thomas McConkie, and it's a new book that just came out in October. I would recommend that. That one has really helped me to recognize the need for stillness in our life. So when how to calm and quiet the chaos that can be in our brain. And then that helps us to be able to turn inward and look upward at the same time. Another one is The God Seed by M. Catherine Thomas. She talks about just kind of the title there, the God seed, like we each have a seed, the seed of God within us. And we get to learn to trust ourselves, and knowing and trusting ourselves is like we're connected to God. And as we pay attention to our own voice, we are also listening to him because we are connected. We have the seed of him within us. So she then also talks about how to hear and recognize and trust ourselves. And then another one is Living After the Manner of Happiness with Valerie Dimmock. It's an interesting read. It brings science and spirituality together. And I think you'll find it interesting. I would suggest reading that one. It helps a lot with our need for certainty and how we feel when we are believing things that are not helpful for us. So that's how we can recognize whether the beliefs that we are choosing to believe in are truth or not truth. And anyway, so those are just some books that I would suggest, some resources I would suggest for you. And there you have it, my friends. Just a small little rundown about my own reflections this year on living in a time of quiet and how hope and humility, words that are pretty common in our religion, but maybe looking at it just a little bit differently can help us move forward. I hope you had a wonderful year. Can't wait to see where 2024 takes all of us. And we'll see you next time. Hey, we just wanted to thank you for spending part of your day here with us at Latter-day Life Coaches and being part of this conversation. Share this with your friends so that you can have a conversation with them on this topic as well. And as always, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Have a good one, my friends.